Hey everybody, welcome to Randy's Road Life, Trucking Life, the trucking experience. The title of this video is why some truck drivers are not happy. First of all, I became a truck driver primarily for two reasons. All right, my biological father and my stepfather were both truck drivers for decades. So that being said, I was exposed to the trucking life at a very early age when I was just a kid. This was back in the early 80s. I was exposed to it in the old international cab overs and things like that some of the younger generation cannot appreciate the nostalgia, and having those memories, being in those old trucks, and seeing the way truck driving used to be. Okay, it's a much different environment now for truck drivers. The industry has changed, the roads have changed, technology has changed, everything about the industry has flip-flopped. Some in a good way and some in a bad way, in a not so good way. And it has caused many of the old head truck drivers to retire because it hurt them so bad. What really happened there is actually the electronic logbook. When that came out and the mandate came out for that, it was hard for them older truck drivers to make money because of the long hours they put in and things like that. And it's a double-edged sword because in one instance, there was a safety concern because of the exhaustion and the fatigue driving that was causing accidents and deaths and things like that. And then on the truck driver's point of view, it's not being able to make as much money and not having to race the clock. So now with the ELDs, you have to race the clock. You only have so many hours in a week you can drive. So with the 70-hour work week and an 8-day period, that is really convoluted because settlements don't come out if you're a company driver or even a lease purchase driver, or you drive for a contractor driving for a company in an 8-day period. They come out in a 7-day period. Okay, so driving 70 hours in 8 days means nothing to the truck, to us, when we're turning over checks on a weekly basis, not an 8-day basis. Okay, so we're trying to race the clock in that 7 days. That makes every settlement and paycheck we receive is maximized by either the miles or the gross revenue percentage. So there's that. All right, and then there's the laws that have been enacted dealing with California. California seems like it's been the greatest enemy to truck drivers. Just dealing with the legislature in California itself has been really ridiculous. It's almost hostile. Even though we provide the consumers in California, which we are also consumers as truck drivers, but we provide commodities for those shelves. That's what we do. So that's hurt us quite a bit. And you have Prime and Landstar have given all their truck drivers that live in that state an ultimatum: become a company driver or move. Well, the problem is they're either lease purchase, leasing, or owner operators. How do you become a company driver if you're an owner operator? Do you just give up your truck and go get one of theirs and then become a company? That's just very asinine when you think about it. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And within that law, there are exceptions for many other professions dealing with Uber and Lyft and doctors and things of that nature that are subcontractors and contractors. But there's none for the truck drivers, which is, I think, is very discriminatory because there are so many contracting truck drivers out here. That's like the dream for truck drivers. When I came up, it was to own your own truck. Okay, because that makes it our own business, and that's what you want to do. You want to work for yourself. No one wants to keep working for someone under someone else's whip. I mean, who wants to live like that? So that's part of it. Another part of the unhappiness of truck drivers are the companies, you know, that make it a horrible environment to work in, right? You're dealing with companies that micromanage you and that deceive you and, you know, have poor communication and things like that. They don't either give you the miles, they're setting you. I mean, it's just a number of things and variables that contribute to the unhappiness of truck drivers when it deals with companies. If you're a company driver, even a lease purchase driver, right? And as a lease purchase driver, a lease driver, you have to keep rolling. You have to stay out as long as you can in order to not go into the red, right? You don't want to take a vacation for a week and come back and you're behind $1,000, because then you got to work harder to catch back up and get ahead again, because you almost get no check for the following week because you're trying to catch up for the week prior. So that's an issue. You know, the happiness comes in when a truck driver, if he's a company driver, he's working for a company that has good communication, you know, cares about his happiness and where he wants to go as far as his career, because good companies want to keep good drivers. And so they will do what it takes, you know, in order to keep that driver happy, as long as the driver's making money and the company's making money. A happy driver makes good money. A happy company makes happy drivers. And that's a great combination. When you put two together, I mean, you get it's a good business. In my situation, let me give you an example. Me and my friend, let's say my friend Trucker Todd, that you see, if you could look up his channel also, Trucker Todd, he currently works for Roadrunner Transportation. Okay, me and him started there on the same day. End up at the same facility and picked up the same model of truck. We both ended up with a ProStar, International ProStar. You know, and we had similar issues in the beginning because our truck was having problems, things like that. But then after that, our issues were very different, where he was having issues with the coordinator and the fleet coordinator and things like that, and his communication issues. And mine wasn't really that. I had a great IC coordinator, and I had then I got a fleet coordinator, and she was also really great. So the communication with those two were really good. With my friend Trucker Todd's, his was a little shaky. However, as you know, he's been there over 90 days now, so his situation has worked itself out. You know, as far as he's concerned, he knows it's starting to get better for him. He held out, he held in, and it looks like it's getting better. So he's getting happier. And then there's the communication between him and Roadrunner has gotten better, you know, and them receiving his information and advice and critiquing them and things like that. So they receive that pretty well. There are some companies that don't receive that very well. They might not even take your advice in consideration at all and just sweep it under the rug. My situation with Roadrunner was starkly different than his. Mine dealt with the truck. I did not like the truck I was in. It was having some issues, things like that. I was in international. One thing, I do not like internationals, and I was in that truck for 2 months, and I still didn't like it. It was having issues. It was loud. It was just, I didn't like the way it drove. It's just, and one thing, it didn't have an APU, and the idle just used up way too much fuel. It was using over a gallon, like almost a gallon and a half an hour in fuel in my estimation. So it was costing me too much money to stay in that truck. It was eating money. It was just constantly sucking money out of my settlements. So they did try to work with me on that. You know, I tried to work with them on that, but at the, you know, after I gave them that notice, you know, the director of VP recruiting. He did his best, but we couldn't come to terms on it because he couldn't get me in a different truck, even though he tried, and I tried, and we parted ways without burning down the bridge. Okay, so if I choose to, I can go back. So but I left on good terms, and so then I came here, and I'm at BB Key Group, or Key Carrier, based out of Chicago. And when I came here, you know, my whole idea, before I even took this job, let me back up, before I even took this gig here, I'm just so sick and tired of recruiters, sick and tired of trucking companies. They lie, they deceive. I went through the ringer this year, dealing with U.S. Express, you know, dealing with Tradewind Logistics. Please, 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 never consider Tradewind Logistics. Never do that. It's, in my most objective statement or opinion about them, is it's such a trashy company. Their turnover rate is astronomical. They only have 70 drivers, but still, the drivers are constantly coming in and bringing their trucks back in and leaving. You know, so, and I've witnessed this myself, and I had to leave because they completely lied to me. They deceived me in the process and assignments and loading and things like that. They deceived me in deductions. It was a horrible experience. And I was completely unhappy. So from there I went to Roadrunner, but down here, jumping from job to job, man, it's horrible for truck drivers. But you know, it's not entirely our fault when you got companies that are it's the no integrity, having no integrity, you know, not caring about the driver, because we are an employee. Even if we're lease purchase, they still treat us like an employee. We might pay for the truck and the insurance and the plates and all that, whatever else, and the fuel, but still we are bound by their rules and regulations. We're still under their beck and call, you know, i.e. employee, right? So that's what that is. I don't care what anyone says about that. You're still an employee of that company. They can terminate your lease anytime they want. All right. Now, here, you know, what has made me happy here, and this is what this is all about. This is not just about this company. This is about every company. Okay? I'm not in any way recruiting people to BB Key Group with this video. This is about the general happiness of the truck driver and why a truck driver might be happy or might be upset. Now, I went into the reasons why, you know, on both ends. So what has made me happy, what made me happy with Roadrunner, let's go back there just so I can keep it balanced out a little bit, is I had good communication with my IC coordinator and fleet coordinator once I got her. She was very down to earth and ready to work, because I told her I'm a driver, I roll, I need the miles. When I'm on a load, I need to be set up for my next load, and on and on and on. I said, can you do that? Can you keep up with that? Because I need to keep moving until my 70 is elapsed, is gone. And then I lay it down for 34. I like my 34s. That's why I don't recap. So she said, yeah. So I never had an issue with her. She never tried to give me her opinion about how I should run my business. She never tried to steer me in any type of way. All she ever tried to do, and you know, is do her job. Her job was
you have a text message from
help me book loads.
The message. Wow.
Okay, help me book loads the way I want to run. Now, my friend Trucker Todd, he had a little bit of issues with his, but they worked things out. Okay, and now he's on the road. He's moving. I just saw his logbooks. He's 600 and something miles every day. You know, I saw 700 something. I saw 600, 700 something. So he's rolling. He's 3,500 plus miles a week. Okay, and that's excellent. Okay, that's excellent. So he's getting happier, and that's what it's all about. When the truck driver is happy, he stays where he's at. There's no reason to leave unless you're trying to move your career more forward to the next level. That's the only reason why you would do that. Now, in my situation here, the communication has been really good. They put me in a quality truck. I'm in a Pete. Okay, it drives very well. When it did have issues, they got it fixed. Bam, it was done. I'm back. They put me in a loaner truck. I was back out making money. Came back in. Seamless transitions. Okay, seamless transitions. They always get me loads fast. Like I said, 80% of the time, I already have a load before I dropped off my current one. Okay, so that's what I'm elated about that. Okay, I'm not sitting in truck stops, rest areas, or wherever waiting for a load. I'm not doing that, and that's awesome. All right, so, and I'm not really caring where they send me, because I can go anywhere. I've driven everywhere, in all conditions, in some of the craziest, most ridiculous places where trucks are probably never supposed to be. But as part of the job, it's what we do as truck drivers, as long as we're not breaking the law. Okay, so I'm fine with that. If you see some of my videos, some of the pictures I've posted, if you go on League of Professional Truck Drivers, you see some of those there, and some of the places I've been in. Truck drivers, yeah, we alley dock. We dock off of streets, or sometimes the front of our cab, our nose of our truck is sticking out in the street. This is what we do. All right. As long as we're not breaking the law, we're not hitting, damaging people's property, things like that, we get the job done. All right. And I received a really great compliment from the dispatch guy, Calvin here. He said he told the owner that I was very easy to work with, because I'm not fussing about the loads he's giving me. He's constantly giving me loads. What's there to fuss about? There's nothing to fuss. I don't need to be a prima donna and act like a diva here. All right, I don't need to do that. So when this load is dropped off, I'll have 3,500 plus miles. All right, I'm gonna have a very good settlement as a result of that, because we get paid very well as company drivers here. We get 52 cents a mile starting out. That's excellent. That's more starting out than the majority of the companies out there. Now, there are a few companies that started out like that, but those are mostly flatbed companies and probably a couple reefer companies. That's about it. Other than that, 52 cents a mile that's up there. That's top. That's top pay for a company driver. And so, as long as I'm still happy and I'm getting everything that I'm supposed to get as a driver, as an employee for this company, and I feel that they have my best interest in mind while we are working with each other, then I have no reason to gripe. All right, these are why truck drivers are one happy and one unhappy. These are all the reasons why. Home time, all I do is tell them, hey, I want to be home on this day by this time. They maximize my miles till they get me home. They're hitting me with load after load after load after load. Boom, then they send me till they work me up to that load that takes me home, and I'll go home. And they don't, they're not bitching about how many days. Like for Thanksgiving, I stayed home for 5 days. As a company driver, I stayed home for 5 days. Now, I don't know how many companies that will allow their drivers to stay home for 5 days, but this one did. And for Christmas, I'm going home for another 5 days. Okay? Will my check be that big? Hell no. But I already know that. And I'm fine with that, because the money I make here is so good. I'm cool. Yeah, I pay the majority of the bills at home. My beautiful wife, she takes care of her part. I take care of my part. My part, I keep everything afloat. All right? So, and I'm not hurting at all. So I'm good. So I'm happy here. I really don't have no inclination to leave or go anywhere else right now. There are, like I said in other videos, there are companies who are constantly trying to, tell you their grass is greener on their side of the highway. But I'm gonna tell you, it's just spray painted. It's a spray painted turf doormat. That's all it is. Because once you get in there and the paint wears off, and you see it's just fake, then you are gonna be sick. And it's not worth that. And I've learned my lesson. These are why truck drivers are either happy or unhappy or even pissed off. Okay, man, I feel so bad for the Celadon drivers. I drove for that company, and it was one of the worst driving experiences I've ever had. Worst being Tradewinds Logistics, but Celadon is a close second. So that company, man, they set you get loads. You don't even have trailers. You know, you're waiting for empty trailers, things like that. They're trying to bobtail you into Walmart DCs. You can't bobtail into a Walmart DC. I mean, they do so many idiotic things, you know. And I guess the writing was on the wall. I mean, the corruption and all that stuff from the executives. They've already been charged with the crimes and stuff. Man, you got people's lives at stake. You got all these employees that work for you, contractors and otherwise. They're there trying to take care of their families, and you just screwed over thousands of people. Way to go, Celadon. Trash can of the week, you know. So with that, man, that's the issue. You know, there are a lot of unhappy truck drivers right now. I hope things get better. There are truck drivers that are doing what they can to try to mitigate all these things. So what I would do if you're a truck driver, okay, and maybe you're a new truck driver, you just recently got into the industry, go on Facebook and look up all these trucking pages, you know, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The problem is truck drivers are like anybody else. They go on Facebook, they hide behind walls and they act tough and they start disrespecting people. You know, there are truck drivers that do that same thing. They call people B's and H's online, and I was like, come on, man. Because you're never going to say that to nobody's face in the truck stop. No one does that in the truck stops. Most of the people, when you come to truck stops, they open doors for you and they're hi, this and that, blah, blah, blah. No one comes in here and tries to act tough. You know, I don't ever see that in the truck stops. Okay? But as soon as they get on Facebook, they are the toughest dude on Facebook. The women are great on Facebook because they don't do that. The men are ridiculous. Not all the men, you know, just a small percentage of them, you know, they just act like complete asses. And that's unnecessary. We go on there to have a dialogue, give out opinions and perspectives and things like that, and try to work things out, you know, in the industry. So with that, my name is Randy. Like and subscribe. Go on Facebook, look up League of Professional Truck Drivers, follow and like that, leave your post videos, consolidate information on that page, you know, post comments, things like that. Don't go on there with your negativity and disrespectfulness. Don't go on there if you're a recruiter trying to recruit people to your company. Transportation office and recruiters are not welcome on that page. If I find out that you are, I'll boot you off immediately. That's just the way it is. It's for truck drivers by truck drivers. So with that, my name is Randy. I hope everyone has a good afternoon. It's cold as hell in here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. It's like 24, 25 degrees, I think, or something like that. And it's freezing. And actually, the wind chill factor is at 12 degrees. As soon as I stepped outside to go into the building, my whole face felt like it just froze solid. So, I'm on my 34, getting ready to roll out, going out to Pennsylvania. I'm sure Pennsylvania is probably going to be just as cold. I'm going to look up the weather before I roll out there to see if I'm going to be driving any snow or not. You know how Pennsylvania is. And I'm going over there by close to Philly, too. So, they just had that bad snowstorm not too long ago. Anyways, I'm out. I'm Randy. This is the road life / trucking life. And these are my experiences. Peace out.